Hello, welcome to this week's video. This week I was in the shed looking for some wood in amongst the shelves, and I went to move this ornamental pear piece, and instead of putting it back on the shelf I thought I might as well turn it. And the ornamental pear came from a school. There was a tree that had come down onto one of the buildings, and it was an ornamental pear, and on the photos that you see it was back in February 2019. So it's been sitting around for 4.5 years, and the good thing about ornamental pear is it doesn't seem to crack. I've got some from another school further north up on the border, and I've had that for probably 6 years, and it's just like it's been cut recently. No cracks at all. It's fantastic, and it's a soft wood, which makes it easier to handle. I started to rough it out with a roughing gouge, and then once I'd got the corners down, I started to use a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. And this is an unusual piece for me, because normally, as the cook always points out, if I'm going to do something I might as well make sure it's useful. And so this one, it's probably more of an art piece rather than a bowl that you can use. And that's how it turned out. It turned out quite nicely. I left some of the bark on there, so it's a natural edge bowl. And I put a coating of tung oil on it. I put a fair dollop of tung oil. So I think it might move a little bit, but been in the house for a couple of days and I haven't seen any movement, so I'm hoping that it stays the way it is. Now, just a couple of things. I had a comment from a Rick talking about lathe height, and he's got a robust lathe that he had adjusted to his elbow height when he purchased it. And that come from a video I did a couple of months ago about the height of the stubby lathe. And I've got the centre of the spindle centre to the height of my elbow, and it certainly has improved my stance, and also I don't seem to be sore after I've been on the lathe for a while. It just feels right now. And then when you start to look around the shed, there's quite a few machines that are all different heights. So it'll probably pay to go through all the machinery I've got and make sure the height's at a proper height to make it a bit easier for me. And the other thing was, John and Lynn has got a friend, Michael, who does a lot of work with refurbishing bridges or walk bridges, and he brought in a couple of pieces of the bridge beams, and they're an ironbark wood, beautiful hard wood. And the pieces he got for me were about 700 mil, or just under a metre, and they're 18 inches wide by 8 inches deep. So what's that? That's about 450 millimetres wide by 200 millimetres deep. It's very unusual to get wood as big as that in this part of the world. I know especially Victoria, they're stopping logging in the forests. So most of the wood that Michael can get is from northern New South Wales or Queensland, and the beams that he's using for the bridges are around 5 metres long. So they're a big beautiful tree that he's getting these logs from. So I must say Michael's lovely, because he's given me some pieces of this ironbark. I've just got to get a forklift to put them into the back of the ute and bring them home, and over the next month or so I'll turn one of them and just see how they look. But I've done ironbark before, and it is a beautiful wood, but I'll need to sharpen the tools a fair bit because it's a fairly hard wood. So that's about it for this week. I hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you next time. Cheerio.